see them everywhere. Voiceover with signature dramatic pause. You see them everywhere, billions of them, outnumbering us 3-1 by some estimates. They're on our plates, in our language, even apparently in our dreams. But do we really know them? Do we even see them, or are they just chicken? Today we embark on a journey to uncover the truth about one of the most common, yet perhaps misunderstood creatures on Earth. Today we're talking fowl power. End scene. Right. So the boffins tell us our common garden clucker came from something called the red jungle fowl. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Like a rare supercar. But finding one is a real challenge. It's like trying to find a working indicator in a BMW. Footage of actual red jungle fowl in their natural habitat, interspersed with JC's commentary. The birds are smaller, more colorful than domestic chickens, moving gracefully through the dense forest, foraging on seeds, insects, and small animals. This visual contrast underscores their wildness and beauty. The red jungle fowl, native to Southeast Asia, is widely accepted as the primary wild ancestor of today's domesticated chicken. By pinning down exactly when and where this domestication happened, well, that's where all the academic feathers really start to fly. An animated timeline graphic appears on the screen, illustrating conflicting dates and locations of chicken domestication. Some say it was 10,000 years ago in northern China, based on old bone findings. Others, with the fancy new genomic studies, reckon it was more like 3,500 to 4,000 years ago, smack bang in central Thailand. And then there are those who argue multiple domestication events, not just one, across Asia. It's a proper academic brawl. Makes you wonder if they're pulling numbers out of a hat, doesn't it? But the point is, this isn't some neat, tidy historical fact. It's a living, evolving scientific puzzle, constantly being reevaluated. Here's the real kicker. Here's the real kicker. When humans first started hanging out with these wild birds, it wasn't for breakfast or Sunday lunch. Oh no, evidence suggests that the first human domesticated chickens humans to domesticate chickens did so not for meat or eggs, but for cockfighting. Yes, these magnificent creatures were originally bred for sport, for a spirit and aggression, not their culinary potential. Imagine that, from gladiator to grub. It's a rather dramatic career change, wouldn't you say? This reveals a profound change in the human-chicken relationship, where initially yes. This reveals a rather profound change in the human-chicken relationship, where they were initially valued for the symbolic power and fighting prowess rather than as sustenance. Surrounding jungle. What's truly fascinating is how this relationship began. It wasn't just humans actively capturing and taming birds. The introduction of dryland rice and millet farming in central Thailand around 3,500 years ago created new agricultural landscapes. These cleared lands and grain crops were incredibly attractive to the wild jungle fowl. They adapted to this new environment, becoming less territorial, living in larger groups. So in a way, human evolution and agriculture inadvertently created the perfect conditions for the chicken's domestication. It was a co-evolution, a partnership, however unintended. Once domesticated, these feathered pioneers did not just sit still. Oh no, they embarked on their own global conquest, often hitching a ride with us, the humans, and trust me, their travel agents were busy. From their Southeast Asian homeland, chickens began their grand tour around 1500 BCE. How did they get around? Mostly by boat, through maritime trade. They weren't just passive passengers, they were valuable cargo. Living assets that facilitated human expansion and cultural exchange. Where were we? You could not say that they were the original global travelers. You could say they were original global travelers, the feathered ambassadors of ancient times. They reached Egypt in 1500 BC, when they were depicted in art and used in religious rituals. The Middle East and Africa saw them around 4,000 years ago, but their arrival in Europe around 800 BCE presents a fascinating twist. The scene shifts to a tastefully done recreation of ancient European burial site, showing chicken skeletons alongside human remains. You see, when chickens first arrived in Europe, they weren't immediately tossed into the stew pot. Oh no! They were considered exotic, high-status creatures, even holy. Evidence from archaeological sites rarely shows any signs of butchery. Instead, whole skeletons are found in elite burials in religious contexts. Julius Caesar himself noted that the Britons considered it contrary to divine law to eat the hare, the chicken, or the goose. Some were even buried alongside people. It's just a profound reverence and sacred status. Looking thoughtfully at burial site. So how did we go from worshipping them to wanting them with 11 herbs and spices? Well, it took time, about 500 years in fact, after humans first acquired them before they became a regular part of the diet. Romans, bless their practical hearts, played a significant role in spreading chickens across their empire, valuing them for both food and entertainment, like cockfighting. This marked crucial cultural shift was a transformation that from the revered to the palatable. Map showing the final spread to Americas in the 16th century with European explorers. JC gives a quick, dismissive nod to the disrupted Polynesian pre-Columbian theory, perhaps with a raised eyebrow. Didn't finish reading that. As they spread, they adapted to new climates, new environments, leading to the incredible diversification of the breeds we see today. The chicken's journey isn't just about geographic expansion, it's a profound redefinition of its value and role in human society, a narrative transformation from sacred to supper. I'm surrounded by chickens, some taxidermied. I have a scroll. I look at chickens with exaggerated intensity. Often with humorous results, apparently. So these aren't just feathered alarm clocks. No! Turns out for centuries, chickens were the original crystal balls. Priests, emperors, and even goddesses were apparently taking advice from a bird that thinks a dusk bath is a spa day. Archival footage or artistic renditions flash on screen. Archival footage or artistic renditions flash on screen. Ancient Egyptian depictions, Roman priests observing chickens, Greek mythology figures, Chinese and Hindu art featuring fowl. The chicken has been a symbol of fertility, prosperity, and good fortune in countless cultures. In ancient Rome, priests practiced augury, observing the chicken behavior to predict battle outcomes and important events. Greek and Romans also used them in religious rituals, like electromancy, the divination by interpreting chickens' movements. There's quite something to think that a bird, which can also be portrayed as foolish in folklore, was simultaneously revered and as a sacred oracle. This duality, where chickens are seen as both sacred and silly, provides a fascinating glimpse into the complex and often contradictory ways humans perceive animals, making the chicken a microcosm of the human cultural projection. Scene shifts to footage of Kapora ritual showing an ultra-Orthodox Jews waving white chickens above their heads. This footage is handled respectfully, with JC's characteristic observational commentary. Wow, that's stupid. And this isn't just ancient history. In Jerusalem, ultra-Orthodox Jews still practice the Kapora ritual on the eve of Yom Kippur. Worshippers wave a chicken above their heads, believing sins accumulated throughout the year will be transferred to the bird, granting atonement. The chickens are butchered according to the kosher practices and often donated to charity. Though some rabbis now suggest using money instead, the tradition endures. This living tradition offers a powerful demonstration of the chicken's enduring cultural and religious significance, showing that despite industrialization, some ancient roles persist, with the chicken continuing to act as a mediator between human and spiritual realms for some communities. From wandering off evil spirits to symbolizing motherhood, like Isis in ancient Egypt, depicted with a chicken's head, or presenting fidelity and loyalty in China, the chicken has worn many hats, or should I say, many combs. It's a creature of immense symbolic power, far beyond what most of us imagine. I'm in a sterile-looking lab setting attempting a chicken IQ test with a live chicken. I try to teach it a simple trick or navigate a miniature obstacle course, often failing spectacularly or being outsmarted by the bird. Right, so they can see UV light, dream, and apparently recognize my face. They're smarter than a toddler, yet this one just tried to eat my microphone. Clearly, there's a pecking order to intelligence. I'm somewhere near the bottom of that particular flock. Dynamic infographic appears on screen highlighting chicken superpowers. It turns out the common perception of a chicken as dumb clucks is wildly inaccurate. These birds are in fact unsung intellectuals of the animal kingdom. They're self-aware, capable of complex problem solving, and can even distinguish themselves from others. They learn from one another, like a chick learning from its mother which foods are good to eat. This profound disconnect between scientific understanding and popular perception is quite remarkable. Scene transitions to montage of chicken art. Gustav Calabati studying still lifes of chicken and game. Iconic rooster of Barcelos. And the Bremen Town Musician Sculpture. And ancient mosaics depicting rooster fights. Chickens haven't just influenced our minds, they inspired our art and language too. From classical paintings to children's literature, they're everywhere. Think chicken rung, foghorn leghorn, henny penny, little red hen. And of course, the age-old philosophical query, why did the chicken cross the road? I'm walking through a series of vignettes, literally acting out chicken-related idioms with humorous results. I might try to fly the coop from a tiny shed, or demonstrate a pecking order with a group of garden gnomes. Our language is absolutely riddled with chicken-related phrases. We fly the coop, then we leave when we leave suddenly. We talk about pecking order and social hierarchies, and warn against putting all your eggs in one basket. We don't count our chickens before they hatch. Someone bossy rules the roost, or is the cock of the walk. If you're sacred, then you're chicken-hearted. So you're scared, then you're chicken-hearted. The sheer volume and variety of these idioms reveal a deep, pervasive integration of chickens into the human thought and communication, reflecting on their long history alongside us. They have quite literally shaped the way we speak. The segment ends with a slow motion shot of a chicken taking a dust bath, looking utterly content. And speaking of daily rituals, they don't use soap and water, you know. They take dust baths. That's how they stay clean, coating themselves in dirt to remove stale oil and keep mites away. Practical, efficient, and utterly charming. I'm standing in a vast, modern, high-tech poultry farm, looking utterly overwhelmed by the sheer scale. The sounds of thousands of chickens fill the air. The visuals are a stark contrast with the historical image is of small, idyllic backyard coops. The attempts to navigate a complex automated feeding system, perhaps getting tangled in a conveyor belt. From a handful of feathered gladiators to, well, billions of them, stinking masses. It's an industrial marvel, a logistical triumph, but at what cost, besides some noses? What is this truly chicken's final form? Archival footage of Seal Steele's farm from 1920 28, Delaware, plays. The transformation from backyard animals to global industry began rather remarkably with an ancient. In 1923, a farmer named Cecil Steele ordered 500 chicks instead of 50. Instead of canceling, she raised the extra chicks and sold them for meat. This seemingly minor event was a spark, making the beginning of commercial poultry farming. This demonstrates how seemingly small individual actions can have a monumental, unforeseen consequences, leading to a complete paradigm shift in an entire industry. Shots of specialized breeding, particularly Cornish cross bred for rapid growth and high meat yield, are shown. By the 1940s, new breeding techniques, along with innovations in feed and housing, meant the chickens grew faster and more efficiently than ever before. Today, the poultry industry is one of the largest agricultural sectors in the world, producing billions of chickens annually. This is the ultimate efficiency. Serious expression on my face. However, this revolution of scale has come with its own set of challenges. The modern chicken, particularly those confined to small feeding operations, or CAFOs, has earned a rather bad rap, in air quotes. They are often described as being bred to submissiveness, ignorance, and cruelty, divorced from the natural life cycle. Stands in stark contrast to the intelligent, complex, and sacred creature that we've been exploring. There's a powerful ethical and philosophical tension, prompting contemplation of implications of industrialization on animal welfare and our perception of life. The scene shifts to historical anecdotes, offering a glimpse into chicken's more personal past with humans. Yet, do a circling shot around me. Yet, even as the industry boomed, the chicken retained its place in our hearts and homes. African slaves, often legally barred from owning larger livestock, frequently allowed to own chickens, using them for small economic advantage. And our own founding fathers, Abraham Lincoln, for instance, was known to enjoy cockfighting, even refereeing matches. Grover Cleveland raised shawl neck game chickens, and Theodore Roosevelt's children had a one-legged rooster as a pet. General Lee even had a pet hen named Nellie, who traveled with him during military campaigns and provided him with eggs. During World War II, the USDA even asked Americans to keep their hens as a civic duty, encouraging backyard coops. These stories underscore the chicken's enduring presence in prominent lives, demonstrating that even amidst massive industrial shifts, the individual connection remained. I'm in a serene backyard coop, modern day. I'm in a tranquil backyard coop. Okay, yeah. So what have we learned? The chicken, seeing simple bird, is a living descendant of dinosaurs, a spiritual messenger, an accidental architect of global trade, and a creature far more intelligent than we give it credit for. It has been our food, our fortune teller, our pet, and even our political pawn. A montage of diverse chicken breeds flashes on screen, ornamental heritage breeds, and those bred for specific purposes. This highlights their beauty and variety, emphasizing the importance of maintaining genetic diversity by protecting wild jungle fowl from interbreeding and preserving heritage breeds. Despite the industrial scale, chicken's cultural relevance endures. Chicken shows like the first large-scale one in London in 1945 continue to celebrate the unique traits and diversity. Backyard chickens are making a comeback, valued as pets and suitable for sustainable living. They continue to inspire art, literature, and even feature in holiday traditions. And of course, they remain a universal food, crossing cultures with ease due to their agreeable taste and consistent texture. I'm holding an egg. And finally, the age-old question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, after this journey, perhaps the answer is less important than the journey itself. The chicken has survived domestication, global spread, industrialization, even ethical challenges. Despite being bred for specific traits, It's a movement back to heritage breeds and backyard keeping, suggesting a cyclical relationship with humans. This incredible adaptability and resilience are a testament to the chicken's enduring spirit. Sweeping drone shots show vast landscapes, perhaps with chickens roaming freely, emphasizing their continued presence and connection to the natural world. The chicken, and its journey from wild jungle fowl to global commodity, serves as a powerful mirror reflecting human history, culture, and ethics. By truly understanding the chicken, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our ingenuity, our greed, our reverence, and our capacity for both cruelty and care. It's an unsung hero, constantly overlooked, yet profoundly intertwined with the human story. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the farewell truth. Stand.